Welcome to The Bad Broadcast. I'm your host, Maddie. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of The Bad Broadcast. We are taking a break from the Booed broadcast this week because we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to go over. Also, I'm coming at you live from my most physically unwell. I'm not sick. I'm run down, I would say. I'm running on about 45 minutes of sleep. Really crazy decisions were made by the small child living in my house. Did not sleep a lot last night and also got home very late because we had our Moonlight Harvest event with Redmond. And I just got to say, it went off without a hitch. Like, it was truly everything I could have wanted from an event. And I've said this before and I said it at the event and I'm going to say it again. This was like the perfect alignment of everything that I love in an event. Like, nothing had ever felt so right. And I'm always hesitant with live events because, quite frankly, I get nervous in front of groups. I don't like speaking in front of people. I get nervous to meet strangers and like kind of entertain. And this like kind of intimate setting with, all women here eating dinner, like enjoying each other's company, local food, crafts, swag bags. Like, it was everything. Like, my best friends were there, and then women who I've met through the internet, women who have supported my career through the years. Like, it was everything to me. And the Redmond team and Lucy also did so much work for the event. I seriously felt like such a loser. Like, when I got there, I was like, oh, I did not do enough to help with this. But fingers crossed we get to do it for many years to come. And hopefully next year we can, get a bigger guest list. We can kind of beef it up a little bit. We wanted to give it a shot to see what this would be like. And I'm so glad that it went as well as it did. So thank you to everybody who came. And it was what a way to kick off October. I mean, yeah, October 7th, that's kicking off October. But we're taking a break from the spooky this week. And last week's episode was, one of my favorite stories, and we're going to continue them next week. But this week, a lot on my mind, a lot to process, I just got panicked that I forgot to press the record button. My brain it's firing on half a cylinder. But that does not mean that I am not locked in for what we are about to talk about. Don't you worry. I may forget to press a button, but I did not forget my feelings on the life of a showgirl. I would normally do a Taylor Swift album review, like on the Patreon. This is not a deviation from normal content, but this definitely feels like a turning point in a lot of ways. It feels like oh man, I don't know if I've had so many feelings come up with an album ever. So many conflicting feelings, so many nuanced feelings. And we're going to practice that today, some nuance. And I feel like it can be a strength that I have. I've always taken pride in the fact that I feel like I can see both sides typically. I don't think I've done a great job of that recently on the podcast, or maybe just in life in general. I think I've been a little intense. It's hard when I'm processing my feelings about something and I'm doing it on the podcast. Like, when I was meeting girls last night at the event, I'm like, it's kind of embarrassing because you guys have basically been reading my diary for 5 years. Like, a lot of these thoughts they're mostly unfiltered. They're kind of pieced together. They're not completely refined and they're not final by any means. Like, I am working through my feelings about everything with you guys. Politics, religion, marriage, kids, you guys are on this journey with me. And sometimes I get heated and then I go back and I'm like, I'm not even that heated about that anymore. And I'm sorry that I have been too heated and come across in a way that I haven't meant to. And I don't want to do that this episode with this album because I know, just as most of us Swifties do, how emotionally charged it sounds silly, but I know it's true, how emotionally charged talking about Taylor Swift is for a lot of us. My love runs deep for this woman. I feel like, again, like most Swifties do, like many of us do, I feel like I have this little like rat tail. If you're watching on YouTube, just ignore it. But I feel like she has been with me through every milestone I started listening to her when I was, 12 or 13. I feel like, first kisses and proms and breakups and marriages and new jobs and new cities and new friends and friend breakups and all that. Like, there has been a song by Taylor Swift that has been the narration of each major experience of my life. And when she has a new album out, there's always, hate is the immediate response most of the time. I mean, you can't be the most beloved pop star in the world without also being the most hated. I remember learning this lesson, actually. I remember I was reading something about my dad who played baseball, as you guys know. And I remember reading that he had the most strikeouts of the entire league in 1 year. And I was like, dude, like, that's bad. Like, come on. I remember asking my mom about it. I was like, I was little. I was like just kind of still learning about who my dad was and what his job was like. And I was like, Mom, Dad had the most strikeouts. And she was like, well, yeah, that's because he was up to bat the most. And it also means he had the most home runs in the league. If you're doing it more than anybody else, you're going to strike out more than anybody else. So it's like if a guy gets up to bat twice and he strikes out both times, he only has 2 strikeouts and my dad had more, you guys get the concept that I'm going with. Okay. So I think what Taylor Swift does, which is she's an incredibly prolific writer. I mean, we get album after album after album. I mean, we stay fed. But that means that the hate is even more intense with somebody like this. And I find it interesting that there's this thing that happens in internet culture where like people are determined. I mean, the people hate Taylor Swift. I mean, fine. It's no skin off my back if you don't like her. But there's kind of this determination to make Swifties feel bad about liking Taylor Swift. I mean, I see video after video after video of people being like, you only like Taylor Swift because you are mediocre. That's why you like her. She makes mediocre people feel seen. And it's like, well, we're all mediocre. Let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, we can all tell ourselves that we're, better, more special, whatever. We're all mediocre. And that's okay if you find art that makes you feel seen. That doesn't, like, when people say that, like, I was watching this, I'm like, this feels unnecessarily mean and kind of like pointed at, like, if you don't like the artist, that's fine. You don't have to make people feel bad who do like her. Art is subjective. It always has been. And it's like a major pet peeve of mine when people do believe that their taste in art is the standard. Like, that just because you like it means that it's correct. And if you don't like it, it's incorrect. And I do not like that. It's not the purpose of art. Not music, actual art or movies, photography, whatever it is. That's not its purpose. And to say that it needs to be objective is just a crazy thing to me, or say something is objectively bad is so crazy to me. And I don't like that. And I do feel defensive of Swifties and of myself, where I'm like, yeah, my life experiences are mediocre. I mean, my first kiss was mediocre and I liked that I felt seen by songs. Like, that's okay. And, but that's always the first reaction, of course, when a Taylor Swift album comes out. And I go into Taylor Swift albums as an apologist. If I don't like something, I typically try to gaslight myself into liking it, because I know the routine. I know how long these songs take to marinate. I know that, Reputation came out and I was like, huh? And then, 2 years later, some of my favorite songs are there. Same with Lover. Same with everything. I mean, Folklore and Evermore are probably the only albums, maybe widely, that kind of hit right away. I think most of her albums, we know this. We've been around the block before. It's never you listen one time and these are going straight to the top of your top 5 list. That being said, I feel like I've given it, it's been about a week since it came out. I've been listening a lot, really trying to not consume a lot of like content about it, because I want to have my own thoughts. Of course, I've seen what people are saying, but I kind of want to go through track by track and give you guys my honest thoughts. And just bear with me because we don't have to follow blindly. We don't. And we do it as Swifties a lot. Like I said, we gaslight ourselves. We think if we don't like it, we're the problem. She's the genius. We're the problem. You're allowed to not like certain things. We don't have to accept it wholesale. And also, we are trying to beat the cult allegations, bitch. We don't need to be a part of a cult where everything is good all the time. I think you probably understand where I'm going with this, that this album was not exactly what I thought it would be, what I wanted it to be, or what I think it could have been. And the interviews that have come along with it have really bothered me. The way she's marketed it, the cash grabs, the variants, and we're going to talk about it. But we're also going to talk about some pros. Let's start with the opening track, The Fate of Ophelia. This music video is, I think, one of my favorite music videos I've ever seen in my life. It was also... I know I referenced K-pop Demon Hunters last week as well, but also, did this not remind you of K-pop Demon Hunters when they're going through like the different eras of all of the hunters? I was like, wait, she took inspo from that for sure. No, but I love this. It was very Midnights to me, and Midnights, I think, like, I'm still on Midnights, just so you guys know. That's where I am spiritually. I've just now begun to dip my toes back into TTPD. But I'm very much, I love Midnights. I think we did not get a long enough Midnights era, but I really love Fate of Ophelia. And I've seen a lot of people saying, as I'm like, I'm not reading the internet. Of course I'm seeing it. People are saying, why is she referencing Shakespearean characters that she does not understand? Like, she's saying this man came in and saved her from the fate of Ophelia, but really what killed Ophelia was the man she was in love with. And Ophelia could have lived had she, had feminism in her life, or however people are saying it. And I don't completely disagree, but I also think to say, people are out here saying, well, Taylor Swift has never read Hamlet. She has no idea what happens to Ophelia. I'm like, I think she probably read it. I think she probably knows what happened. I think to say she didn't look at the reference material at all is a little crazy. And here's what I'm trying to do. I am trying to come at this as logically and whoa, sorry about that. The word got stuck on my mouth. 2 feet firmly planted across the fence. Okay. I am not trying to say right or wrong. I'm trying to just say she made a song called Fate of Ophelia. She probably read Hamlet. Maybe she saw the movie. The Kenneth Branagh one's great. But I think she probably understands it. And not the main issue, but something that I didn't love about this concept as a whole is that the tracks did not match what I thought the visuals were giving. Especially when I heard that we were getting Folklore with 1989 production, I was like, are you kidding me? That's my wet dream. Like, that is everything to me. Like, my 2 most favorite albums in the world as one. And I don't think that that's at all what we got. I think that Fate of Ophelia is, I'm shaking my ass for real. I think that it is a great song. I love it. I am pledging allegiance to my hands. Like, I really am liking. I think it is a very strong opening song, and quite frankly, the first 4 songs I could not be more on board for. Let's go on to, well, let me see. Actually, hold on. I was gonna say something about Fate of Ophelia. I was gonna go. I don't know. I think that this is it's a great happy song, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying, well, Taylor Swift, you guys just want sad music, so you want her to be sad. You wish that she was suicidal. You hate that she's happy. Sorry? Of course I don't want her to be sad. Of course I want her to be in a happy, healthy relationship. I have just also heard some of her happy writing, and it's great. So for us to be like, well, she's happy, so she can only write pop beats. It's like, no, she can be happy and be a great writer. These 2 things are not mutually exclusive. And I feel like it's reductive when people say that. Like, well, she's just happy now, so deal with it. And if you don't like this album, like saying if you don't like this album, you don't think she deserves to be happy, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But I think that this is a great song. I was so happy with it. When I started the album, it was really great. And again, of course I'm happy for her that she's in a relationship. Hello? Like, are you out of your I'm sorry. My words slurring together and I just exited out of my freaking list. Okay, here we go. Of course I wanted to be happy. Okay, Elizabeth Taylor. Again, a really strong start to the album. I did not love the concept of it opening with the words Elizabeth Taylor. It was a little on the nose for me. That's just a personal choice, but I thought that this was another really good song. That chorus, I'd cry my eyes violet, Elizabeth Taylor. I thought it was so beautiful, and that's a very Swiftian line to me. I'd cry my eyes violet. That feels like it feels very lyrical. There are some really, really strong lyrics throughout the album, but I mean, I don't hear anyone, not even the most diehard among us. I don't hear anyone saying that this is her strongest writing, not even by a mile. But I liked Elizabeth Taylor, and I love Opalite. Opalite again. To me, it feels very midnight. All of these, I think, could probably fit on Midnights, these first three. And Opalite, I mean, this album is a huge win for idiots like myself. Like when life is like complicated and you think you're like so like dark and mysterious and like nobody gets you. That's great music too. But getting to an uncomplicated place in life where your brain is just on easy mode and nobody's like disturbing your sleep and you're not fighting with your boyfriend every night and like you're just kind of cruising along, like windows down, hair is, flowing in the wind, and you're just loving on your man and you don't want to put any brain power into figuring out the nitty-gritty of your relationship. That's what this album is. And I fully support that. As a former smart sad girl, I'm down to be a love-struck idiot. That's who I am. I mean, I mean, Dancing Through the Lightning Strikes, I like this song. I really do. I also feel like this album was much more, she referenced her people again. Like she hasn't done that in a long time. Well, I shouldn't say in a long time, but we often don't hear like, I mean, I don't know when the last time we heard Abigail was. Was it, let's see. I don't know. Fearless? Everything. What? Never Grow Up? That was that last time we heard about Abigail. I mean, she talked about her brother. She talked about her mom. I like that. This is where I'm going to pause and say that she has been doing some interviews that have really rubbed me wrong. And I, again, really try to like always benefit of the doubt with this woman that I adore on a weird level. But she was talking about, I don't even remember, it was one of the podcasts that she went on, but she was talking about how she speaks out and she talks about things that matter to her. And then she said, the things that matter to me are like my family, my relationship, and baking. Not that those are bad things to care about. Of course, those are some of my top priorities. But to be at the level that she's at and say that I'm speaking out about things that I care about with the state of the world, and I really try not to be the person who's like, the celebrities owe it to us. They owe it to the world to speak out against things. Like, you should be able to speak out about what you want to speak out about. But that also means you should maybe keep your mouth shut when you're going to openly admit that you only speak out about things that you care about. And like, we're at a very politically tense time. There are atrocities happening across the world. And like to say that, like kind of blatantly say, I'm not going to speak out about that because I speak out about things that matter, like my family and baking. It was giving billionaire. It was giving, maybe don't say that. Maybe don't say, like, maybe say, I need to be mindful about what I'm speaking out. I understand that there's a level of danger that comes with a celebrity status like Taylor Swift, especially when like the president is obsessed with you and you never, like, you probably are in full-time danger, like no matter what. Like, of course you got to be mindful about it, but I wish she would have said that. I wish she would have said, I'm mindful about it. I'm working behind the scenes. I have causes that I care about. And that's none of anybody's business, because it's really not. But it was that she said the exact opposite that just had me. It was the first of many things along this press tour that I just, I had to put it on my shelf. I had to put it on my shelf. I mean, the cracks were cracking. And I like that she is referencing a more personal part of her life, like her friends and her mom and brother. Like, I like that. Of course, I num, 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 I eat up every part of her life that she shares with us, and that I just had to throw that in, that I did not care for that. Okay, so let's talk about father figure. Hot take, maybe. Love, love this song. I think that it is probably the only like diss track that we needed on this. I think that what happened to her with her, with Scott Borchetta, with Scooter Braun, with her masters, with all this stuff, like, I am fine with her holding that grudge, quite frankly. I think that she should. I think that it probably drives a lot of her like artistic pettiness, and I think that is a fine thing. You want to fight the system, you want to fight the man. Yeah. When we get into actually romantic, I start to question who we're fighting here. But I think that this is great. And she talked about how on Fallon, she talked about how she was thinking about Logan Roy. I'm like, okay, tug on my heartstrings a little bit more. I mean, you're talking about Succession. Like, I'm living for this. But I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, so she's talking about Logan Roy. I also saw an edit to Father Figure with The Sopranos with Chris and Chris? Yeah, Christopher and Tony Soprano. I thought that was great. So many great father figure edits, but I think that this one was kind of very classic Swift. I think this could have been a great fit on Tortured Poets. I personally love Leave It With Me, I Protect the Family. I love this kind of mobster undertone. And like this line, when people say there's not good lyrics in this, of course there's. Well, I pay the check before it kisses the mahogany grain. Like, I love when she gets wordy with me. I love when she says, I pay the check before it kisses the mahogany grain. I pay the bill before it comes, baby. Like, I like when she does that. She said, they want to see you rise. They don't want to see you reign. Like, and especially when we get to the kind of when she turns on her heel, I drink that brown liquor. I like the Dick's bigger line. I think that it's the perfect amount of edge. The Dicks should have stopped there. Let me just say that. But I think this is a great song, and I really am. These first four, they get my stamp of approval, and I think that now that we've said the pros, I think that we can get into some of my lesser faves. I made a note in my phone that it's fun to be a Taylor Swift song because or it's fun to be a Taylor Swift song. It's fun to be a Taylor Swift fan because you do kind of get to listen to songs for the first time because you hate them for the first 10 times you listen to them. So like you kind of get to have that first experience over and over again. When people love a TV show and they're like, I wish I could watch it for the first time. You get that when you're a Taylor Swift fan. But okay, let's go on to Eldest Daughter. Eldest Daughter's been quite a discourse in my DMs because of course she had to throw me under the bus and talk about the youngest child. Come on, Taylor, I'm fighting for my life here. But somebody did bring up a really sweet sentiment to me, and they said it's kind of like you are the eldest daughter, but you're speaking to your inner child. How's that for a loophole? When I put my hands forward, they get in focus. How's that for a loophole? And I did think that was very sweet. And this is where we get a lot of internet slang brain rot. And this is nothing new for Miss Taylor Allison Swift. We know that she loves an internet reference. I mean, every single album is dripping in it. Even Tortured Poets, which I think is literature in many ways. I mean, she's got LOML, she's got Down Bad, we've got Tattooed Golden Retriever. I mean, this girl scrolls and she cannot tell me otherwise, okay? If she thinks that she's getting away with saying, I don't really scroll that much. Yeah, you do. You don't throw, bad bitch, savage on your song if you're not scrolling. Unless, I don't know. But I am not bothered by internet speak in her songs because I mean, if speaking in internet language brain rot is a crime, I mean, lock me the hell up. It's my whole group chat. It's a language that we speak now. And of course, I understand this kind of like deeper meaning that people are giving it, which is like, she's talking about how she wants to be cool. So she's using all of this outdated internet slang to show us that she really isn't cool. And it's kind of a classic, this is a classic Swiftie argument. It's that we understand it. We understand the cringe. It has a purpose and you don't. And I think that that's fair in some circumstances. I don't know if we needed it to this extent in this particular song. I don't know if we needed the word memes. I don't like I'm not a bad bitch. This isn't savage. I think that we could have said that differently. I especially don't like that I'm welling up at every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter. So we all dressed up as wolves and we looked fire. Womp womp. And we looked fire? I mean, we could have said, and we lit on fire, and we lit the fire. Like this eldest daughter kind of like leading the path. That's what I was so hoping. When I was kind of reading through the lyrics as I was listening to it, I'm like, oh, we dressed up as wolves and we like, lit the fire or whatever. And we were the first ones to do it. We were the first lambs to the slaughter. So we put on this costume that we were tougher than we thought. And we led the troops into the darkness. And we took that on because we are eldest daughters. That's not what we got. We put, and we looked fire. And you know what? I will say what I don't think is fair. People are saying she wrote an album for idiots because Travis is an idiot, which is, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good jokes out there. I mean, I saw the sexually transmitted CTE joke and I thought it was funny. Okay. But I think that, I think he has depth. I think it's like ridiculous to say that he's not a smart guy. He's a huge bro. When I was listening to New Heights, I was like, hey, nobody needs to like talk like this, like say the F word this many times. He's a huge bro. But I'm not going to say he's an idiot. Okay. I think that he's probably a smart guy. I think he appreciates her. I think that he probably has more depth than we see. And so I'm not going to write this off and be like, well, she fell in love with a football player and now she makes music for stupid people. I think that her life is uncomplicated and so her music is uncomplicated. But yeah, I loved, every youngest child felt like they were raised up in the wild, but now you're home. Okay, just take a moment for me and picture me with my younger self. It's cute. Okay, we can get there. It's cute. And I do really love the bridge though. We lie back, a beautiful, beautiful time lapse, Ferris wheels, kisses, and lilacs, and things I said were dumb because I thought that I'd never find that beautiful, beautiful life that shimmers that innocent light back like when we were young. I think that's beautiful. And I also want to take a moment for this line. Where is it? I mean, terminal uniqueness. I think that's beautiful. And also I don't hate the second verse where she says, the last time I laughed this hard was on the trampoline in somebody's backyard. I must have been about 8 or 9. That was the night I fell off and broke my arm. I mean, this is her, the way she tells stories. And I think that this is where we need to employ the defense mechanisms, not against the millennial language. I think it's these things where it's like this whole verse, she's talking about how she has all of these amazing moments in her life that were followed by terrible heartbreak. The night she laughed the hardest is when she broke her arm. Her first crush is something kind. When she said she didn't believe in marriage, she's talking about this like kind of perpetual disappointment of being an eldest daughter. And people are like, oh, you fell down and broke your arm. It's like, come on, let's expand the picture here. She learned at a very young age that the night she was the happiest, she broke her arm. The first time she fell in love, they broke her heart. Like, I think that those are the storytelling elements that she does really, really well. Not like, you guys, it's so cool that she put bad bitch and savage in here. And it's like, I was on board for the defense and then it kind of lost me. It really did. So eldest daughter, I mean, it might be the weakest track 5 ever, especially because it's followed by Ruin the Friendship, which talk about a plot twist. I mean, we were texting. I was like, is he dead? Wait, this like high school crush guy is dead? And I guess she wrote Forever Winter about this guy too. And I do love when she talks about her childhood. I mean, 7 off of Folklore, The Best Day from Fearless. I mean, she has so many beautiful songs about her childhood and where she's from and where she grew up. This one we did not need. Rest in peace, Jeff Lang. Of course. I just don't think that this was like an important track. I don't think that I think that the concept of ruining the friendship and, kissing a guy and taking the risk on the relationship, I think that this could have been communicated in a much different way. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is maybe this is evil that I think this about this song, but I couldn't skip it faster. And I don't find myself listening to it. I don't find myself humming it. I don't feel like it was an important, thought. I didn't care for this song at all. And I don't know if we needed a song about a high school crush in the 12th album when we got like 6 albums of high school stuff. Like I don't know. And again, that's my parasocial coming in, where it's like, of course she's allowed to write about her life. And I'm sitting here saying like, we already know so much about your high school experience. Don't tell us more. Like, I could get a grip. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about Actually Romantic. Another beef track. Apparently we needed 3 on here on a 12-track album. But this one, I'm conflicted. I find myself conflicted. Again, I'm fence sitting. But like I said with Father Figure, if that is a grudge you want to hold against Scott Borchetta and the men who have really run the industry for a long time, you really lose me when you start making diss tracks about other women in the industry. She is allowed to feel however she wants to feel, but you can't expect me to get on board when you are preaching, supporting other female artists. That has been such a pillar of who she is these last few years. And then you write a diss track about another woman. And I will say she's using bitch on this album, and she's not doing it in a funny way. I mean, she's calling women bitches. And I can't really stomach this one. It's probably the worst diss track she's done. It's just kind of like I don't know, just I like the bridge, stop talking dirty to me. And then we take a big, steep fall from grace when she ends it with, it's kind of making me wet. I want her to be in her sexual prime. I want her to let her freak flag fly. I want her to have all the sex in the world and embrace that part of her. But don't do this and not like the amount of sexuality in this album. It's not super natural. And I feel like, forgive me, but I do feel like she's seeing the success that these younger, sexy artists are having. The Tate McRae's, the Sabrina Carpenters, the Olivia Rodrigos, like she's seeing this sexuality kind of thrive, and like it's giving not able to let go of the youth. It's giving I need to be sexy. It's okay that that's not her strong point, and she's allowed to be sexual and write about it and whatever, but like I'm not, maybe I'm a prude. I don't feel like I'm being a prude. I just didn't need this much overt sex where it doesn't fit and it feels very awkward. And it's not part of the song. It's not part of the storytelling. It's just like, she has this pretty good song and then ends it with, it's kind of making me wet. I don't need to know that. So I think, yeah, the lyrics of the song, the beat, that's not where I take issue with it. I wish she just would have been like gone on these interviews that she's been doing. And I wish she would have said something like, I wanted to make a tongue-in-cheek, sexy album because that's what's on the rise right now. And I kind of wanted to try my hand at it. But like, don't go on these interviews and say, I'm so happy I'm writing the best music of my life. Because we all know you're not. And sometimes it feels like, how far are we supposed to go until we as Swifties start saying, we don't really like this? Like, if we just start allowing everything to happen, when does it end? I'm sorry, we did not need 28 variants of this album. We did not need a million countdowns to a different vinyl record that's $40, that's limited edition. Like, we did not need this. The capitalism of it all is getting really hard to ignore. And I feel like I watched a video about this. Somebody sent it to me. And, I think that she's at a point where she really values commercial success, which is a fine goal. That's great. Like, if that is her purpose, if she wants to find commercial success, Life of a Showgirl, it's the most saved, downloaded, purchased, whatever. She made the most money off of it. If that's a success, then that's great. But like, if that's not what you view as an album that you love, that you resonate with, like, it's okay. Just because we are fans and just because we love her does not mean that we have to say, yes, I'm totally fine with all of this happening. We can say, this is getting weird. The countdowns, the merch, the ugly orange sweater, the visuals that don't match the album at all. I thought we were getting, Life of a Showgirl behind the scenes, this opulent, incredible, dripping with diamonds. And then I thought we would get an album about what it's truly like to be a showgirl and maybe like the loneliness or the sadness. And we just got kind of, we got poppy earworms, like full of dick jokes. And it wasn't computing for me in a lot of ways. And yeah, actually romantic, I don't hate the song, but when it's woman on woman crime, not saying that I wouldn't hold this same grudge. If this happened to me, if somebody did this to me, yeah, I'd feel that. But I would hope that she'd be principled enough to not put it on an album where she is also being publicly, praised for how much she supports women in the industry. That's just me. Wish list. Wish list is relatable. It's skippable. And she does something that I hate that people do, which is shorten a word for no reason. And she does this again in Life of a Showgirl, and it's truly a crime. Balenci shades. That feels like if we had given it 2 more days of writing, we could have found something better than they want those bright lights and Balenci shades. Sometimes I wonder if she's challenging herself with how fast she can write an album, which it's incredible that she can do. I mean, she's prolific. Like I said, like she can pump these out. And sometimes I wonder if she's like, could I write and produce a full track in 2 hours? And then she does it, but then we get Balenci shades. And yeah, but I mean, I like this again. I like the song because it feels relatable. I mean, your dreams sometimes change when you meet the love of your life and you realize maybe I am ready to, settle down. Maybe I am. And to think that this makes her a trad wife is actually really crazy to me. And people are saying like Taylor Swift's gone MAGA, Taylor Swift's gone Republican. You don't have to be Republican to love being a mom. I mean, I love being a mom more than anything. I would choose this life over anything else in the world. I love to be at home. I love caring for a home and a family. Like it's truly something I love so much. And I do not identify as MAGA, as many of you know and have heard these last couple of weeks. But also to think that she gave up her career for a man. I mean, she just had a 20-year incredible career. She's in her 30s. I mean, she's allowed to settle down. She's not telling us that you should give up your career for a man, which is what I was hoping she would say in a lot of her interviews. And she did something in her Fallon interview that really, it was a heavy item on my shelf. Fallon was asking her about the Super Bowl and why she's not doing the Super Bowl. And if she got asked, and she was saying, my boyfriend or my fiance plays that sport. He puts his life on the line. She said he puts his life on the line. Where? Okay. It's voluntary, by the way, playing football, voluntary. Puts his life on the line? I don't know about that. He's not saving lives. He's not on the front lines. He's not a nurse in a pandemic. Okay. He's playing football, earning hundreds of millions of dollars. And then she goes, can you imagine if I was just like, so what do you think about my choreo? Making fun of her own voice, making fun of her job, completely belittling what she does, something that she has taught us for 20 years not to do, not to belittle your work, not to talk poorly about what you do, not to let a man walk into your life and cast his shadow over you. And that one really hurt deep. That one, I didn't feel like I was seeing the Taylor Swift that I know and love. And, apologists are going to say, well, you're not seeing the depressed Taylor Swift and that's why you hate her. That's not true. We've seen Taylor Swift happy and in love many times. Paris off of Midnights is one of my favorite songs ever. We've got Sparks Fly. She doesn't struggle to write great, happy music. And I couldn't believe when I saw that. That was the one I saw where I was like, I need to put my phone down. I need to touch grass and I need to call my therapist because the feelings I'm having about this are not normal. She is allowed to want a family and kids and to be married and have a basketball hoop in her yard. She's allowed to want that more than wanting to go on tour. She is allowed to. I love that. Duh. But she's not allowed. I'm writing the rules now. She's not allowed to speak poorly about the work that she's done. That hurt me. And I don't even think that she's in that dynamic. So I couldn't figure out why she would do that. Wood. We got to talk about Wood. We got to talk about the Jackson 5 ripoff, which I don't know if everybody loved. when she was like, I really want to make a timeless song. And then she ripped off Jackson 5. I was like, okay. This was not a song that I needed, that I wanted. And I feel like there's this cop out. It's like she's writing this super sexual song and people are like, and you know, I always wonder like what's going through her mind. What's her team saying to her? What is she backing it? What is she saying? Okay, that was a flop. Let's not do that again. Or is she getting negative feedback and then she's fighting it? And she's saying, no, it worked. You guys can't tell me otherwise. What is the best song on the album? To be honest, I look forward to what comes next. I hope it's in like 3, 4, 5 years because I look forward to, I can't imagine that her team is bringing to her like everybody is taking everything wonderfully and nobody has any negative feedback. I'm assuming she's getting some sort of information relayed to her that it's like not going great. And I think that that's when she does her best work, is when she is trying to come back from something. And so I'm looking forward to it. The marriage album, the motherhood album, whatever comes next for her, I'm looking forward to it. Please let it be 3 years. We don't need an album for that long. Okay. I don't think I've ever said these words, but like, I just don't think we need a Taylor Swift album every single year. If this is the quality of it, I don't think we need it every single year. But yeah, so I feel like I wonder if she doubles down on it. If they're like, hey, people are not liking Wood. I wonder if her argument is, well, they're not used to me being sexual. And so they're putting me in this puritanical box where I can't be myself and I can't. And it's like, I wouldn't care to hear this from anybody, let alone people who are so in the public eye that I am hearing about your mothers all the time, your nieces, your in-laws, and then you're putting out a song. Like, what's the dinner time conversation like after this album comes out? What's Donna Kelsey thinking about? I mean, talk about an experience for a mother-in-law to have your daughter-in-law write this song about your your son's, even worse, your son's penis. I just don't know if I needed a whole track about a penis. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. He hypnotized me. Forgive me. It sounds cocky. Redwood tree. I didn't need it. I didn't need it. This should have been a funny little jokey thing that she gave to Travis on his birthday that never saw the light of day. That's what this should have been. I think I've said that about something on Tortured Poets, but it could be an inside joke for somebody else. Okay, let's go on to Canceled. Canceled to me is, I mean, it's very much Reputation. It's kind of giving the poor man's look what you made me do. And I, again, think that writing a song like this in, you know, where we are as a culture, I mean, I don't want to say outright tone deaf because she literally says that in this. She goes, you know, I'm hot and tone deaf. Let's off her. But I think with like all of the controversy that she's had with Blake, with being friends with Brittany Mahomes, like I think that saying I like when my friends are canceled is just a little bit weird. In defense of this song, I like this window into how aware celebrities are about the cancellation of their peers and how like kind of us peasants like going around canceling each other is just like kind of keeping us busy. And they are not like, they're not absorbing it, which obviously there are some cancellations that are valid. I think some are incredibly stupid. And I think that this was kind of a peek behind the curtain of what these conversations are like between celebrities. And people think this is about Blake and she's saying that she's still friends with her. I don't think that. I think it's probably about how she started hanging out with this group of girls and she is, sorry, I had a sniffle. And she is friends with Brittany and people don't understand Brittany and Brittany's, you know, whatever. The Brittany Mahomes friendship feels so forced and so weird to me. And then sometimes I think, no, maybe they are actually best friends and I'm the one who's reading Taylor Swift wrong. And like Brittany Mahomes is like the type of girl that she loves. I fear that might be happening. But I like this. Where's the line? The last line. Oh, this line. At least you know exactly who your friends are. They're the ones with matching scars. That one I do like. I like that lyric. And this one, they stood by me before my exoneration. They believed I was innocent. So I'm not here for judgment. There are some lyrics in the song that I can get behind. It needed to be on Reputation. We didn't need a reprise of this. Like, this is a sentiment that she has expressed to us. It feels superfluous, if you will. Honey is next, and perhaps the most forgettable song on the entire album. I think this could have been cut easily. Um, it's, all about how Travis calls her honey or sweetheart, and she used to hate it, and now she likes it when he does it. Could have been one line. Could have been one line. It's not particularly a standout track in any way. And now let's get into the final track of Life is a Showgirl. I really like the song. I think Sabrina Carpenter's voice is such a highlight of it. I love Pretty and Witty, Kitty City, and then the true crime of this album, the absolute worst lyrical crime I've ever seen, the unforgivable. I will never get over this. Do not call yourself our English teacher and then use the word legitly. Not a word. Not a word in the English language. Legitly, give it, again, 2 days of writing, and you would have found a better rhyme. Don't give me this with a straight face, okay? I can't listen to, like, when I heard that in those first 2 lines, I was like, yes, okay, we're getting like a taste of The Lucky One and Clara Bow, and I like this. Legitly, bye. She completely lost me on that one. And again, I think that Sabrina is a standout, and it also feels like she knew that she was pulling a page out of Sabrina Carpenter's book with the overt sexuality, and she thought, I'm going to bring her onto the album so that people can't accuse me of competing with her, and they know that like we're kind of the same. We're kind of in the same realm. We're kind of doing the same thing. And I just feel like, how much are we supposed to ignore? Because I'm willing to ignore a lot. I am willing to look past a lot of things that I have not liked personally so that I can get there with her musically or her personal life or her stuff. Like, I've looked past a lot, and there were a lot of things on here that I could not look past. That does not mean I hate this album. That means that it's not in my top 5. It's not even in my top 10. It's not growing on me. I'm actually trending in the opposite direction, which has never happened ever with any, like literally any Taylor Swift album. I have always trended forward. And I just, what did I post? Hold on, let me get my phone. There was something that I posted on my story that I want to get to. Like, I posted some of her lyrics, and I just like, I can't believe that somebody saying legitly is giving me lyrics like, who's going to tell me the truth when you blew me in with the winds of fate and told me I reformed you? When your impressionist paintings of heaven turned out to be fakes, you took me to hell too. And then she says, legitly. I'm processing. We're processing. We're figuring it out. Maybe, again, I'm going through these feelings same as you, trying to figure out, do I like it? Do I not? Do I vibe with this? Do I not? Am I making excuses? Am I gaslighting myself appropriately to be a Taylor Swift fan? But this has left me feeling confused, feeling frustrated. I think that we are just seeing the rise of commercial success being put in front of everything else that we're used to with Taylor Swift albums. I mean, the lyricism, the heartbreak, the honesty, the, making women, mediocre as we may be, feel seen. Like, I think that has been put on the back burner, and she has every right to do that and every right to be happy and chase that bag and have that be her priority. We don't need to stick around if it's not vibing with us, but that doesn't mean that I think she's inherently wrong for wanting it. I just have feelings about it that I have now processed with you. And I am open. Just know. Slide in to my DMs. You know what? Recently I've been really hating that phrase. Slide in. I don't like it. So hop in to my DMs. Maybe I'll do a question box. Like, let's get through this together. My Swifties, my people who know where I'm coming from. Like, let's get through it together and figure it out. Because I think that though we be small, we could be mighty. Maybe we could say, hey, we don't really like when albums are like this. Hey, we don't really like when the countdowns and the puzzles and stuff are for acoustic versions of the same songs we already have a million variants of. Like, maybe we the people, maybe this is where we the people come in and we fight for good. I really needed this. I needed this. I appreciate you guys letting me take a break from Booed Broadcast. We will resume with Spooky next week and the week after. Don't you worry. But I needed to get this out there. I needed my thoughts, my dissertation on the life of a showgirl out there. Please let me know your thoughts. Please let me know if you guys are watching Love is Blind. I was going to do a whole recap of, oh gosh, I just dropped my laptop, of Love is Blind, but we ran out of time. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, do that on Instagram stories or something. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, my little showgirls. Come at me with your nuanced Swifty takes. I can handle it. I love ya. I'll see you next week. Remember to be safe, be kind, be hot, be normal. Always. You're my angels. Love you. Bye.